Yo, what's up guys, it's OGXRAYZ. Welcome to a new mini-series I'm doing that is going to cover the best variants in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. A lot of you guys saw my Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Elite Face-Off videos where I compared two elite weapons and talk about the differences in these stats. A lot of you guys wanted me to cover the other variants for the weapons, and this past week I did do the ASM1 Strider versus the ASM1 Speakeasy, and a lot of you guys still wanted me to cover some of the other variants. So this series is going to cover what the best variants are for the ASM1 and what you can do to make them just as good, if not better, than the elite versions of the ASM1. So let's start off with the ASM1 Strider with stats and some of the changes to it. ASM1 Strider, 35, 22, and 20 damage. It's going to have a little bit more damage towards the end than the regular ASM1. It makes it a 3 to 5 shot kill weapon. It has a rate of fire that's average 759 rounds per minute, first 8 being 1000. It's going to have a longer effective range, and it's also going to have a little bit of higher recoil. So the two ASM1 variants that you want to use are going to be the ASM1 Competence and the ASM1 Sweeper. One is professional, the other is enlisted. Now the reason you want to have these two is because both of these have the stats to match up with the ASM1 Strider, and then all you have to do after that is add some attachments to make it just as effective. The ASM1 Competence has 35, 22, and 20 damage, exactly the same as the ASM1. It's also a 3 to 5, it's also 759 rounds per minute. And then the last two things is that the ASM1 Competence is going to have a little bit of a wider hip spread, but it's also going to have less recoil than the ASM1 Strider, about 20%. So what can you do to the ASM1 Competence to make it just as good as the Strider? Well, all you really need to do is actually add advanced rifling to the ASM1 Competence, and it's going to actually make it so it has an increased range even further than the Strider. So if you don't have the ASM1 Strider but you have the ASM1 Competence, you just slap advanced rifling on it and it's going to be essentially the ASM1 Strider, only better. Moving on from there, say you don't have the ASM1 Competence but you have the enlisted version ASM1 Sweeper. Again, it's the same thing, only the difference is that the ASM1 Sweeper actually has a slower rate of fire than the ASM1 Competence as well as the ASM1 Strider. So you're going to have to make up for those two kind of losses by adding rapid fire and also having advanced rifling. So it's going to take you a little bit more attachments to make it just as good as the ASM1 Strider. And if you actually do that to the ASM1 Sweeper, it's going to have a higher fire rate than the Strider, and it's also going to have a further range than the Strider. So that's absolutely amazing. So say that you don't like the ASM1 Strider but you like the ASM1 Speakeasy and you don't have the elite version. Well, there's actually some attachments you can add to the other ASM1s to make them just as effective as the ASM1 Speakeasy, and honestly in some ways better than the ASM1 Speakeasy. Let's talk about the stats real quick. Just to give you a quick reminder, ASM1 Speakeasy, 35 damage up close, 22 at its medium, and then it has a really steep drop off to 16 at its maximum range. It makes it a 3 to 7 shot kill weapon. It does have an insane rate of fire though, 1016 rounds per minute, with the first 8 being 1000 rounds per minute. The range is going to be a lot slower than any one of the other ASM1 variants, and it's also going to have the attachment extended mags, which makes it so it has a ton of ammo. So what do we do if you want to match those stats? Well, honestly, it's actually a lot easier than the Strider. In order for you to have a weapon similar to the ASM1 Speakeasy, all you have to do is add rapid fire, grip, and extended mag, and it's essentially just as good as the ASM1 Speakeasy, if not better. Now, the only two variants that are going to be an exception are going to be the ASM1 Sweeper and the ASM1 Scout. Both of these you can't actually use because they have a slower rate of fire. But if you do add rapid fire, grip, and extended mags to the other versions of them, they're going to be almost as fast as the ASM1 Speakeasy, the Speakeasy being at 1016 rounds per minute, and if you add rapid fire to the other ASM1s, it's going to be more at 987, so not quite as fast. But on the upside, even though it's not as fast, all the other variants are going to have a much further range than the ASM1 Speakeasy, so I think that is pretty awesome. And lastly guys, I do want to mention, say you don't have any of the other variants for the ASM1, if you do get 300 kills with the base edition of the ASM1, you're guaranteed to get yourself an ASM1 Magnitude, which you can do exactly as I mentioned for all these other ones. Slap rapid fire, grip, and extended mags and it'll be a Speakeasy, and really you can't really add anything to it to make it like the Strider. It's not going to be as effective as a Strider, but it will still be a very good weapon to use. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of my best variants guide. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to slap a like and a favorite on the video. It does get the content out there, helps my channel grow, and of course if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe so you guys won't miss any content in the future. Let me know what weapon you guys want me to do next, Elite Face-Off as well as a best variant video. Thank you so much for watching guys. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure I'm out. Peace.